All right, what if I told you that there was an organization that could raise $1.2 million in order to aid students to go to college within the next few years? And what if I told you that throughout the course of this presentation, we would talk about how to fund, direct, and distribute all this money towards students? On that note, we are the
Dallas Cowboys.
And I'll pass it over to Kevin to talk more about our project.
Well, first of all, my name is Kevin.
Oh, I'm Mink.
I'm Tyler.
I'm Ashley. I'm Jasmine.
And today we're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys scholarship. First of all, do we have any Dallas Cowboys fans out there? Nice, cool. Well, we're currently number one in our division. Which is, doesn't mean much now, but hey, hopefully we'll make it to the playoffs, right? Well, for those that don't know who the Dallas Cowboys are, the Cowboys are the official football team for the city of Dallas. Their current home stadium is the A&T Stadium, which is located in Arlington, Texas. If y'all haven't been there, y'all should check it out. It's really nice. The cost to build that stadium was approximately $1.2 billion, in which our current owner, Jerry Jones, contributed 73% of that cost, which is approximately $875 million. It's a lot of money. Our net worth value is approximately $5.5 billion, which ranks us number one within the NFL franchise and also makes us the most valuable sports team in the world, believe it or not. And we are created in 1960, and in 2020, we will be turning 60. And to celebrate our 60th birthday, we plan on giving back to the community by giving out 60 scholarships to 60 students within the Dallas Metroplex area. And now I'm going to hand it off to Ashley, and she'll talk about our organization's background.
All right, thank you, Kevin. So I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit about background of student debt here in Texas and Dallas. So in Dallas alone, the student debt load has grown up to $3 billion, billion with a B, as you can see. In Texas, it is up to $103 billion, which is the second highest behind California, and they hold it at $132 billion. And through our research, we've also found that students are taking out roughly $26,000 just to put themselves through school. So Texas state and government officials have recognized that students are getting in over their heads, that it's becoming too much. So this ties into the problems that we want to highlight for y'all, which is that obviously students are borrowing way more than they can handle. As you know, when students get out of college, the salaries are not very high. So it's getting harder and harder to pay off those loans, and tuition is not getting any cheaper. So we as the Dallas Cowboys want to help with that student debt load, and I'll pass it to Tyler so she can explain to you all how we plan to help.
So our proposal aims to give back to the Dallas-Fort Worth community, in which we call home. The Dallas Cowboys Star Scholarship Fund totals $1.2 million in scholarship funds, which is collected from a portion of ticket sales, profits per season, and player donations from their salaries. The $1.2 million will be distributed among 60 selected students at a total of $20,000 each. So in order to select these 60 students, we have devised a set of requirements. There are two set of requirements, one for high school students, which consist of high school seniors and incoming college and university freshmen. The other consists of current undergraduates and returning undergraduates. For high school students, they must provide proof of residency. This is to ensure that they are residents of the Dallas-Fort Worth community. They must provide they must meet the approved household income size, and these numbers are based off of the current income levels for low-income families in the DFW area. They must provide a letter of recommendation to a 2- or 4-year accredited university. They must have a minimum 3.4 GPA on a 4.0 scale. They must score at least a minimum of 1,100 on their SAT and a 23 on their ACT. They must also provide their official high school transcript and at least one letter of recommendation from either a teacher, a counselor, an advisor, a coach, an employer, or a working professional. Letters of recommendation from family members are not permitted. They must also either write a 500 to 1,000 word essay or do a 2 to 3 minute video which notes why they deserve the scholarship and how the scholarship will affect their lives. Bonus content would include how the Dallas Cowboys specifically affected their lives. And then finally, they must complete 50 hours of community service in the DFW area. The requirements for current or returning undergraduates is very similar. However, they do not have to provide the letter of acceptance, their official high school transcript, or their ACT and SAT scores. However, they do have to provide an unofficial college or university transcript, and they must be enrolled or re-enrolling in full-time, as well as providing 2 letters of recommendation instead of 1. And now I'll pass it off to Kevin to do the marketing.
Alright guys, so since we already have an official website out there for the Cowboys, first of all, we're going to put it on our official page, advertising our project. We'll then move on by posting it on billboards located around the DFW Metroplex area. And lastly, we're going to be posting it on ads on social media such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. And now I'm going to be moving on and giving this off to Jasmine, and she'll introduce our organization staff.
Thank you, Kevin. So we are the Dallas Cowboys, so we have to have a good team. So now we'll be talking about the staffing and our 4 key essential players. First, I'll begin with the VP of Marketing. He or she is basically responsible for the communication between our company, the Dallas Cowboys, and the students and faculty on the high school and college campuses, as well as focus on the outreach and go-to market for the strategy of our scholarship. Next, we'll have the marketing analyst, and he or she is basically responsible for gathering all of the applications through our extensive application process, as well as the demographic, where are these students coming from, where are they applying to. And they will be supporting the director of marketing, who is essentially the key decision maker, who are we going to award the 60 scholarships for $20,000 each. And then finally, we have the financial analyst, which is a really key player because he or she is going to be responsible of how we're able to fund the $1.2 billion, in which Tyler mentioned that it's going to be from ticket sale profits as well as the salaries from the players. So now we'll be talking about the scheduling. So we'll begin February 15th next year, the following after the season, and we'll publicly launch our STAR Scholarship Fund by the VP of Marketing. Then we'll give students 3 months to submit their extensive application, and that will the marketing analyst and director of marketing will then decide the winning students, which will be announced 1 month later on June 15th, and then 1 month later, July 15th, we'll award those students in a check form. Then August 5th, just before the semester will begin, we'll commemorate the students as well as celebrate our 60th anniversary with the 60 winning students, and gather the faculty, the players, and the Dallas Company in order to increase the students' confidence and that we're investing in them. And then the financial analysts will begin their year-over-year impact of how effective this scholarship fund is going towards our mission and our goal, which is to decrease the student loan debt in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So now we pass it on to Mayan to discuss the budget.
All right, so throughout the presentation, we've made some pretty bold claims. For instance, the $1.2 million. So you all might be wondering, how do we come up with this number, and how can we possibly afford to donate so much? So first of all, as Kevin mentioned earlier, we're a highly valuable team. Our net worth goes up to $5.5 billion. And so as far as this fund goes, we plan to donate 3% of our ticket sale profits and solely the profits to this organization and this charity. So what I mean by that is we have 8 home games. And of those home games, we make a lot of ticket revenue. Of that ticket revenue, we have about 5% of it that's called ancillary revenue or other revenue. And this revenue is something we can put towards literally anything. It's sort of like a backup fund. And so we plan to take only 3% of that fund and utilize it for our scholarship. So that's why 3% of ticket sale, that's where the 3% of ticket sale profits come from. After that, we plan to have additional funds from Players Charity. So when we look at the entire cap of all the players on the Dallas Cowboys team, we found that if we even take like 1% of their salary, we'll have at least $1 million. And so there's also a charity clause or a charity cap in each player's salary, in each player's contract, meaning that they have to donate a certain amount to charity. whether it be a homeless shelter or any other kind of charity, they have to donate some of their money to just outreach programs for a lot of reasons, PR reasons. It makes the Cowboys look better, and so on. And so the charity clause in their contracts can go towards us. It's a little bit easier for Cowboys players to donate money to us, and it's also easier in the sense that they'll be able to see a genuine impact that they're making on students. And we also have that 60 for 60 purpose alongside it. So that totals to a fund of $1.2 million, which we plan to give to students in the coming year. And I will hand it off to Tyler, who will conclude and summarize our presentation.
So in conclusion, with our proposal, we aim to give back to the Dallas community, which we call home, by reducing the student debt, by reducing the amount of students that have to take out strenuous loans, and to assist low-income students to attend college or university that otherwise could not.
Go Cowboys!